This is the Jasmine Brand, and I'm TK Trinidad. And today we have an amazing guest. She's a podcaster, author, mom, wife, and you can see her on Love and Marriage DC. Please welcome Ashley Silva.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I have my red cup,
Okay.
but that means I'm probably gonna talk more shit than I probably should.
Hey, I think that's what we're all here for. We definitely needed a red cup for the reunion because the reunion was
I actually had a red cup backstage. For multiple reasons. My makeup artist is one of my best friends. I don't get to see her that often because she lives in LA now. So this is my first time seeing her in like almost a year. So, I had already been cutting up backstage before I even came out.
So you were ready. You were
Yes.
okay. That explains a lot because there was a couple scenes where I'm just like, "Ooh, that went to 100 real quick." After watching the reunion and the show, what's your overall view? We'll first start off like with the show. You finished recording the show. Now you're watching the episodes. Prior to getting to the reunion, what was your overall view of the show?
Reliving it all was very different. It wasn't too much time that had passed since we stopped filming. We stopped filming in March and then we aired in May. And the things that we had all gotten past as a cast or, things that had been said, we were done with it. But now having to relive it on television is one thing. And then having to relive it through social media and everybody else giving their opinions is another thing. And then I'd also like to put in a fourth wall, which I feel like is now cast members addressing it very differently than they had months before. So I felt like it was like reliving it 4 times, and that was very different for me because I feel like something I would say today to a friend, I don't have to bring it back up in 6 months, but on this show, you do.
Right.
So that was new.
And now coming back and doing the reunion, and after the reunion, you look gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
After the reunion said and done, what was your overall feeling like of the experience of the show in total, on a whole?
If it was like on a grading system, I would give it like a B, like just a B. Before I would always hear reality personalities talk about editing and things like that. So I knew editing was a thing. But until you see how you are being edited, like, well, yes, I said that, but I didn't say that at this time. Yes, this happened, but it was inserted a little differently. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, now I see how production kind of, I don't want to say play you, but how they play you. And all the editing and all of that. So when I look back at it, for the most part, I think I was represented as myself. I've had one edit that I did not like, and it just so happened to be the very first episode. And I felt like that geared everybody's mind, like of how they were going to perceive me moving forward. But now looking at it from an editing, a production standpoint, I'm like, there was not really an issue with Me and Winter, but once it became an issue with Me and Winter, now I see why they would hone in on certain things that to us we didn't feel like was a big deal. But now it's such this huge deal because this is what the season has become about.
Right. And that's exactly leading into my next question. So, it's unfortunate, but why people watch reality shows in general is you want to see the drama. And I love the fact that, with this particular show, it was Love and Marriage. There's some other shows where it's, wait, so this is you guys are not married. So it's seeing and different stages of marriage. So you're seeing all of that. But if we just saw you guys just going through the different stages of marriage, then it'd be like, okay, this is, we don't want everyday people problems. We want to see.
That's the thing. And we would get so many messages like, yes, show us Black excellence. Yes, show us Black love. Show us your families. And then it would be scenes where there weren't a lot of drama and people would be like, oh my God, that's boring. But it's like, so you really can't win. And then when there's drama, of course, there are people that are like, we don't want to see drama. We don't want to see Black women arguing. And it's like, we just can't win. We just can't win. But that is the thing I did love about our show with all, with the 3 main couples. And then even with the friends of the show couples, there everybody was at a different stage of marriage, you know.
Hmm.
Monique and Chris being 10 years in, Quick and I being 14 years in, Arena and Jamie 26 years in, which we rarely get to see unless it's like our grandparents or something.
Right.
And then even Winter and Kevin, you know, going through a divorce, that is a stage of marriage, unfortunately. So I do
Hmm.
love that our show got to showcase all of that.
Right. And the thing that highlighted the show, and I did interview Winter, and I told her this as well, is you and Winter's. I don't even know if I should call it a relationship, but you and Winter's
Dynamic,
situation,
yeah, situation,
yeah,
yeah.
situation is what kept the show intact. Like it was the drama that was needed in order for, because again, if it was just, three couples going through it, like I just don't think people would be complaining and then
Yeah,
people would shut it off.
yeah.
But your way of just the witty comebacks between the two of you, we don't want to see, but it made the show interesting because now we're like, okay, so I honestly was just waiting for you to walk out at one point where it's like, you know what, I'm really just done. I don't want to hear
You know, that's
anymore.
not me. I don't walk away from anything.
Hmm.
I don't think there has ever been a time I've walked away from an argument or disagreement or anything. So if I ever walk away, it's probably not because I want to. I'm telling you, if they're ever in season 18, if I walk away, it's because an emergency is going on and I like absolutely gotta go, or because
Right.
production has probably pulled me out. Like there's never going to be a time I'm going to walk away. I'm someone who I like to address things head on. I'm very straightforward. I don't have a problem addressing anything, whether it's good, bad, negative. I like to get everything out on the table as it is. And I do agree. I think that both of us were needed for this show. You know, I will say I've seen interviews with her. There is nothing positive I've ever seen her say about me. Even though there's a bunch of stuff that was not aired where I've been super positive towards her, but that's her personality or whatever. I do feel like she was a worthy opponent.
I mean, there you both had some really great lines, and I
Mhm.
love a great line. Last question on Winter. Do you think that if you guys weren't filming the show, because Winter and Monique were, cordial, they were friends or
They weren't
friends,
friends.
and yeah, they knew each other for a long time.
And I think so with me, I
Mhm.
think it's episode 2 or 3, and I say like friend is a big word. Like I
I
think
agree.
in general, people throw the friend word out. There are people who I've known in a casual setting, in a mutual setting. Our husbands may be cordial or friendly. That doesn't make us friends because I take it as so their husbands played on the same football team. That's like your husband's working for wherever. They could work for
Hmm.
Bank of America. Doesn't make you friends. It makes your husband's coworkers. You see each other at the company party once a year. Hi, how are you? Great, move along. Those two had never had a lunch together. That
Yeah, I did hear her say that.
besides the one that was filmed.
Hmm.
Besides business, they had never talked on the phone. Just how are you? Their kids have never hung out. They've never been to one another's homes. So friend was just it's a stretch.
So hypothetically, if Winter was around in like a non filming situation, like if you met her outside of the show, do you think that you guys would have been cordial, meaning that you guys wouldn't have bumped heads? Or do you think just based off the personalities it just wouldn't work either way?
I think we could have been cordial, like at the beginning, because even what you guys don't see is during the first episode, after the live podcast event was done, I said to her, like, oh my God, like when she told us the story about her first husband, I was like, oh my God, that seems to be a lot. She actually started talking to me a little bit about Kevin at that. And she was like, girl, I'm married again. It's only been 6 months. I'm about to get another divorce. And I was like, what? That's a lot. I have a podcast. I was like, shit, I need to get you on my podcast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the end of that first conversation. And I didn't have any ill feelings towards her at all. Even at the vegan dinner, I just felt like I was asking questions that needed to be asked. And at the same time, we are filming a TV show. We all just sit there and be quiet. Nobody's learning anything about the other person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, I don't know anything about you. You put this all out here. And I think that one of the biggest things that bothered me about the vegan that people don't see is how Winter was delivering it to us was she was over the situation, that she like this wasn't hurtful. It was like, I found out he was a scammer. I got the fuck. That's how it came off to me. And I was
Right.
like, shit, well, how didn't you see this if you were telling us, like, you're this relationship coach and all of this? And she was like, girl, he living in his mama basement, blah, 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 blah. So that's how the conversation was. It was light. It wasn't this heavy conversation like, oh my God, I'm getting a divorce. I'm so hurt. Had it been that conversation, I would have reacted very differently.
Okay.
I've had other conversations with her about even her first marriage that, again, I've repeated more than once, like, I'm sure that was hurtful. I said something to her at the lake house after me and her had another back and forth and then I apologized to her again, that wasn't shown. And I told her, you know what? I'm not doing that with you. I'm not about to do that because that's hurtful and I apologize. So those things were never shown. What I will say is the Winter that I've been seeing on social media lately is not the person I met in January of this year. It's only August now, but this new Winter that I'm seeing on social media is someone who I think I probably would have liked.
Okay.
This
Well,
new,
because now
new
she's
Winter, and this is the Winter I feel like she really wanted to be.
right. Well, the papers are signed, so maybe like the shackles are now off, and
No,
maybe
or
that's
I just think that, everybody is not used to a certain level of popularity, and now she has that. And I think that she is more free to be who she wants to be. And that could be from the divorce or it could be from the show or whatever it is. But I think what I have seen, I don't know, but I feel like I see a totally different person than the person I met in January.
So another hypothetical question: season two. I don't see season two not happening. Season two, they bring back the same cast.
Mm.
Would you? Because Winter did apologize to you during the reunion, and you're like, "I'm through with the apologies," because you apologize and
Yeah, we've
right.
heard several apologies.
So season two happens, and she's still she's there. Do you think that you'd be willing to explore, you know, having some type of, I don't even want to see friendship because that's not the word, but acquaintanceship with her, or you're like,
Well,
I want nothing to do with her?
well, this is the thing, it's reality TV. For us, it is reality. For everybody else, it's TV, it's entertainment. So I think about if it was you in your marriage, in your real life, and would you hang out with someone who's telling you they know your husband's cheating on you, they have receipts, you're a mean girl, all of this stuff? Like, why would you want to hang out with me? Why would I want to hang out with you? Like,
Right.
so that's the reality of it. The entertainment side of it is that I wholeheartedly understand, as production, as a show, having her back. I just don't know how that will really happen because I am not on the show to be an actress. I'm on the show just to be Ashley. So if y'all want to film us arguing, if that happens, that's what it is. If Winter wants to have a real honest conversation, then we can do that too. I am open to anything. I can't say the same for my castmates, but like I told you at the beginning, like I don't back down from any conversations that anybody wants to have, whether we agree or not.
And now that's another thing. So the phrase, I'm sure it's been a hashtag, aggressive Ashley. If you were to have an aggressive Ashley show, who
Yeah,
would be
let's
your
put that
guest?
out there. Oh, who would be the guest? I would love to have all the ladies from our show. If I could have like a round table type of show or like the talk type of show, like I would love to do an episode. I may do this, depending on what kind of space we are whenever we do start filming season 2. I would love to have all the ladies, me, Monique, Arena, Tasha, and Winter, because we were all there. We all know what really happened during season 1, whether people didn't like the delivery of the other person, whether people interpreted things differently. I would love to have like a round table with all of us to like really get it all out there, discuss it. What are the real issues? What is the real problems? And now, okay, can we move forward? Like you said, in some type of associate phase. And I just watched the interview with Monique and she was saying associate sounds so harsh. That's why people say friend. I just say, like, I've met you, or I know them, or I've met them. I don't know them that well. Those are the things I like to say. I don't like to say friend, or I know someone, because meeting someone doesn't mean you know them.
Right. Yeah, and then you almost take there's an ownership of some sort. If someone
Yeah.
says they're your friend, and then that first person does something crazy, it's like, oh well, I thought she was your friend. It's like, no, no, no. Like it's
Right.
definitely good to clear it before
From
anything
the
crazy
beginning.
happens, because those alignments and attachments are real, especially in the field with reality TV and
Yeah, and I
connections and
think
all
that
this other
that was the
stuff.
thing about me. I came in saying that very early. I know how some of these other reality shows work, and they introduce someone, and they're like, "Oh, this is Betty, and I've known Betty for so long, and we this and this and this," and it's like, girl, you saw Betty at Target one day in your weed, or your kids catch the same bus, like, you're not friends. You don't know each other. You don't know anything about. You don't know. And that was the thing. And I know I would like to move on from the winter thing, but this bothers me so much because at the Ocean Prime luncheon that we have, I literally say to her, I think you guys see where I say, like, I'm tired of talking about Kevin and your husbands. I don't know anything else about you.
Hmm.
As what wasn't aired is, I'm literally asking Winter, I'm like, I want to know, like, what's your favorite color? Like, I want to know what you like to do for fun. Like, I'm saying these things to her. So none of that was shown because I still had to look like the mean girl. That was me being too nice. They couldn't show that. But I just wanted to get to know her, especially since we
Right.
were now in this reality space of, for the next however many weeks we're going to be filming together. I did not want to talk about your husbands anymore. I don't want to talk about it. And don't
Right.
fucking talk about my husbands, because you don't, my husband, because I only have one. Let's clear that up.
That's
Because
that. Yeah.
people,
Well,
and that's another thing I've learned from reality TV. Please don't have a slip of the tongue. Please don't pause too long. Don't blink too hard.
everything's
Don't
telling.
deep
Everything's
breath.
telling.
Right. It's like, oh, she took a deep breath. That was telling. She coughed. Yes, my throat was itchy. Like, oh,
So one
she's listening.
husband, one
Right.
husband.
One husband. But I did want to get to know her outside of the drama of what was going on with her husband. And I didn't really get to do that.
So if you can produce your own reality show and you can have the pick of um, housewives or married couples in your reality show, who would be in that?
So I have always wanted to do a reality show, but I did not want it to be solely based around married couples. I've always thought that there have been a few, but they haven't really lasted. I've always wanted to do a reality show based on like different actual friend groups where it's not about tearing down people's husbands, things like that.
Hmm.
And one of the things is, I've talked to my producer about that. A lot of my girlfriends are not married. So, and I get comments all the time like, we want to see some of your friends on the show. And I'm like, I want them on too, but they aren't married.
Hmm.
So I would love for people to really get to see like the dynamic of real, honest, true girlfriends that are not brought together by husbands. So no shows like NFL Wives or what baseball wives or like
Basketball wise, yeah.
yeah, basketball wives. Like they're brought together because guess I have friends that I've known since I was 12 years old in middle school. My friends from high school, people you go to college with, people that you meet later in life just from working together or whatever. Those genuine friendships and connections that you make that don't have anything to do with a man or marriage or status and things like that. I would love
Okay.
to like have had a show like that.
So it's like a Sex in the City DC
Yeah, like
style
a Sex
type
and the
thing.
City girlfriends type show. Yeah, where
Okay.
you just get to see real life friendship, because I lean on my actual girlfriends so much, and we still argue, we still have our bad times, we still have our disagreements. But at the end of the day, like my best friends are like that is they're the core of me, they hold me up. And that is what I would love to have shown that more. But season two, if we get a season two,
It'll happen.
I'm hoping that you guys do get to see more of my friends because, and I tell everybody, if y'all felt like my delivery was so messed up or I was this mean girl or whatever, that is how we talk. And I'm from Baltimore. So, and I hate being like, I'm from Baltimore, so this is just how we are. We are very straightforward people for the most part, and it can come off aggressive to people, especially people who were raised in the country or, down
Hmm.
south or things like that, or not used to people being super straightforward. We really are, which I couldn't imagine my group of friends, if I was in New York, if I was like a New York bred girl, oh my God, then I'd probably be 10 times worse than what you feel like I am
Yeah, New
now.
Yorkers are intense.
Right. So I'm so excited that I have made it a point that I really want my actual friends who know me, who are around me all the time, who get me, I really want them involved in a season 2 if it happens.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Now let's talk a little bit about your book. Do that shit. Like I love. I you just kind of, they didn't really touch on this as much, and I think they should, especially coming out of the pandemic,
Mhm.
with depression and stuff like that. Tell us about the process of the book and like how long it took for you to kind of get to its final stage.
So I had started a book, probably I think it was 2017, and then I put it on the back burner, and then I was like, oh, I don't like this idea anymore. I revamped it. So for like 2 or 3 years, I would just keep being like, I'm revamping it. And like you just said, being in the pandemic, it was like you have nothing but time right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what really pushed me. It was like, okay, take this time to really figure out what it is that you want to do with your life, what it is that you want to do with your career, how you want to move forward. And that's what I decided to do. And I realized like everyone, whether they wanted to admit it or not, our mental health had been affected by the pandemic in some type of way.
Yeah.
We literally were in isolation. We weren't going out, like as just our human interactions. I remember I cried one day on my front porch. It was a windy day. I ordered Instacart. I was outside, like wiping down stuff with Clorox wipes and spraying down. And
It's
like
a
my
crazy time.
like bags were like flying across my yard, and I just bust out crying. I was like, God, this is not how we gonna live our lives. So in some way we were all affected by the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are not really aware of when things are affecting your mental health, or we're too ashamed to talk about it. And I don't want people to feel like that. I don't want Black people to feel like that, especially. I don't want Black women to feel like that, especially, because I feel like as Black women, we've always been taught to be strong and to carry the weight on our shoulders, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
complain and all of these things. So that was one of the most pivotal parts that I wanted to get across. It's like being a Black woman, we are able to show our emotions without it being, us being weak. We're not
Mm-hmm.
weak people because we say, hey, I need help in this aspect. Hey, I didn't do what I needed to do for myself in this aspect. And a lot of the book is about that for me. I became a mom and a wife very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up a lot of my dreams for my husband. And I looked back at myself and I lost myself. I didn't recognize who I was, for so many years. And now that I'm at the point where I'm finally getting back to myself, I love that. And I just wish that I would have had someone come to me 4 or 5 years ago, like, you need to get out of the slump. And the only person that can get you out of the slump is you.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to every doctor that you want to, you can talk to whoever you want to, but until you make that conscious decision that you need to get out of it, you will be stuck here. And I was stuck for so long. Now I'm at the point where I still have bad days, of course. I still have times when I doubt myself. But when I recognize that I'm doing that, I'm able to say, okay, you are able to feel your emotions. You are able to feel how you feel. Now, what are you going to do to
Right.
move past this and to move through this, actually? And, that has helped me a lot, is just being upfront and straightforward with myself and stop waiting around I feel like so often we're waiting for somebody to come save us.
Yes, that's very true. With that said, did you do therapy or like how did you get through the process, your own process?
Yeah, I've done therapy. I still go to therapy. I've had several different therapists, which is something I talk about in the book, how I feel like, I know for me, my first therapist that I ever went to was not it for me. And I gave
Mm-hmm.
up on therapy. I was like, she didn't fix me. I just felt like, I was supposed to go in and I was supposed to walk out instantly fixed. And that didn't happen. And I had to keep going. I had to try out different therapists. It's like test driving a car almost, until you
Mm-hmm.
find that one that you feel like, okay, she understands me or he understands me. Um, you know, I've taken medication, I've done meditation, outside of like Western medicine, I always say like there are other things that have helped me. Working out has definitely helped me. I started doing art therapy and I didn't even realize I was doing art therapy because I am someone who has hated from a very young, I hated coloring, I hated painting. When I was in college, I was in a class with all these animation students, and
Mhm.
I was like, why the fuck would y'all put me in this class with all these kids that can fucking draw any fucking thing? But now, like, I found my own art and how common and how much of a release that would be. For some people, it could be writing music, writing a poem, going for a walk, hanging out with your friends. Like, there's so many other things that are therapy. And I just feel like when your heart feels happy, that's what your therapy is. So for
Right.
me, even down to me getting a dog a couple of years ago, I was never a dog person, ever, 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 ever. I never thought I was going to be a dog mom. And now I am a lay in the bed with me, kiss me in my face, dog lover.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Okay.
yeah, I know. I've become that person. And I'm like, how did this happen? I don't know. But I am, and he is a part of my therapy. He's a part of my healing. So it
Mhm.
doesn't always look conventional. And I think people also should understand that. And even if you do seek out, because I think a lot of people, I think anyone can get advice from therapists or counselors. I don't think that it doesn't mean that you are crazy. It doesn't mean that you have mental illness. It doesn't mean all of these things. Like, but sometimes you do need to talk to someone who can give you a unbiased
Unbiased.
opinion. Yeah, because sometimes talking to your mom or your girlfriend or your pastor or your preacher, child, they not always gonna give you the real because you're
Mhm.
giving them your side of the story and they are looking out for your best interest.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, therapy I think is so important.
And now, Monique and Chris actually mentioned this, I think, right before the reunion aired, how being on the show actually helped their relationship because when they first started filming, they weren't even talking.
Mhm.
How has the show helped your relationship? It seems like you guys are a solid unit. Like, don't mess with the two of you, especially
Yeah,
the
and you know
reunion.
what?
I was
I
like, ooh.
really, yeah, and I don't want to be like, oh man, quick or perfect, we're fine because we're not perfect, but we are good. Like you said, we have a solid foundation. Like we know who each other are, we know what our marriage is, and that it's for us. We don't. I don't know. I would like for Quick to go to therapy because he needs to go to therapy for things that he is very unhealed from his childhood, from his
Right.
past. One of the biggest issues for us, especially on the show, was how much Quick worked. He still works a lot. It's just never going to change. I don't. I. It's never going to change with him. You know, I would.
Is he
I
still
would.
wearing the brace, the wrist brace?
He wore the wrist brace maybe twice, and that's a big maybe. Okay, he does not. He does not listen to anyone, and I literally have to get super aggressive Ashley to make him start listening. So I told him, you know, I'm just let your hand fall off, and when your hand falls off, then you're gonna wish you wore the brace. But our relationship is great. It's intact. It's, you know, like we are us. I think that there are certain people who are truly made for each other, and
Hmm.
Quick and I are that couple. Like I
Okay.
don't. Yeah, I mean, it just it is what it is, and I feel like there are people who can look and be like, oh, whatever. Like, I mean, that is my guy. Like, there is nobody else in the world that could deal with aggressive Ashley.
I mean, it definitely seems like you guys are definitely a yin and yang, but when it comes to somebody attacking the family and some type of unit, like I just loved like you, no matter what, you're always backing your husband, vice versa. And when you guys are together, it's just like there you nobody stands a chance, and that's really
I mean,
great to see.
yeah, you don't. I feel like that is what marriage should be. Like, we're
Hmm.
not about to. We are a unit. We're a team. We're not about to. It's literally us against the world. So, and if you don't feel like that in your marriage, I don't understand that. So if you don't understand my marriage, I also wouldn't understand why you don't. If
No,
you're,
I get you. I get you. Now, I think I was watching another interview of yours where you said that your mom said that you should become like a lawyer. Now, after watching the show and you know, author, podcaster, doing other things, and now the kids are getting a bit older, is there another profession or anything that you want to pursue?
I thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist, and I could definitely see myself being a lawyer. I could not see myself doing more years of school. It's just, it's not in me. It's not. I need to, maybe if I can go the Kim Kardashian route and like study under
Possible.
somebody, because I love learning. I love being educated. I just hate classrooms. Like, that's not for me. But if I could study underneath like a psychiatrist or a lawyer,
Hmm.
and do my hours in that way, I would absolutely do that. I would
Okay.
absolutely do it.
Okay.
But right now I'm really focused on my new title as being an author, and also being a mental health advocate. And one of the things that's really important to me is helping young girls in underprivileged neighborhoods, like the neighborhood I came from, because I feel like a lot of the times they're not represented. They are not helped in the way that they should be helped.
Hmm.
They are pinned as girls with attitudes, girls with this, they're fast, they're whatever, not understanding their underlying problems. Maybe
Right.
there's a reason why they are being sexually active at a young age. Maybe there is a reason why they always have an attitude or they're always upset. And we need to get to the root of those problems. So that is where I am right now, career wise.
Yes, nice. I love that. Now, aside from Winter, what is your relationship with Monique and Chris and the other couples in the show?
It's good. Like, since I wouldn't have called them friends in the beginning, but we are very, very friendly now. Like, we just had the ladies, me, Raina, Monique, and Tasha. We just had brunch like 2 days ago at Tasha's
Okay.
house. Probably like a week before that, I had a pool party. They were all there. I had something else at my house. Monique has had stuff at her house. So we and the ladies, we talk all the time, like on text. So we have we're building these friendships, like genuine
Hmm.
friendships outside of the show. Because we want that to reflect, if we do, when we do get a next season, we want to reflect that, okay, we have real relationships outside of
Right.
that. Yeah. And
And
now
then what?
we all get to see how everybody's family dynamics, because it's not even just the ladies. Like, Monique's kids have come over. When Raina comes over, the boys are here. Brittany's here. Same with Tasha. Her boys come over, play basketball with my son. Her daughter is always around us hanging out. So I think that those aspects are, you know, it's important, and we understand the dynamics down to everybody family, how like, how all the families work and things like that. I wish Winter would have gotten to see that part of us, instead of, I feel like she came in it solely to be a reality personality.
Well, I mean, there's still time in season two, maybe.
Mm.
Now, watching the filming, is there anything that you learned about yourself? Not necessarily like I'm going to change that, but like it's always interesting to see yourself on a show, like
Mm.
because you're in yourself the whole time. You're seeing with your eyes, but to actually view it from a different perspective, is there anything that you learned about yourself through this process?
Um, that aggressive Ashley can be aggressive, and that it's not for everybody, and I have to understand that, instead of just being like, oh, that's just how I am. But people who don't know me, I don't want to say I can't be myself, because I wouldn't want anybody to ever show me a false representative of who they were.
Right.
But understanding, like, I get how you could take that a certain way, and I owned up to that very early in the season. But whether people understood that or not. So yeah, episode 1 and I think 1, 2 are like the only ones I was like, oh girl.
So
Oh, you could have relaxed a little bit on that. You could have said that a little differently.
but hindsight's 2020, and I think maybe just knowing, okay, this is I seeing myself for who I am, and I can understand people might not like it, and just
Yeah,
understanding that part of it is still like growth in itself,
it
because
is.
like I
But the
said,
thing, moving forward, what I don't want, because I feel like so many people on reality TV do this. A lot of times, season 1, they come in as authentically as they can.
Hmm.
And then now they've seen themselves on TV and they read the comments and all of these things. And now they turn into a character of who they think they should be or what people want them to be. And I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to do that.
All right, all right. I like it. I like it. Now, any plans for another book? What's the game plan now before season
Well,
two starts
okay,
filming?
well, not another book before season two because so my book is on pre-sale right now because I
Hmm.
literally just last night I had to send back another sample because I didn't like the paper quality. Like I didn't, there's certain, you think you write a book, I'm just writing, and you think that that's what it is, but it's like now I'm like there are 5 different colors of black ink. It's
Mm.
like things that you don't even think about. But I eventually would want to do another book. I already have 2 titles, so 2 more books hopefully. But I want, like we talked about, not necessarily the show being called Aggressive Ashley, but I look at myself as like a Oprah Ayanla like hybrid
Blend. Okay.
where like I'm helping people get their shit together, but being very straightforward with them. I love that about Ayanna. It's like, the people be fucking hating her, but it's like, because you need to get your shit together. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would really love to do. I still have my the website with my daughter. It's called fashionashley.com. We are going to be revamping that, and we have all brand new stuff coming out this fall. Other than that, like I just want to continue to grow Ashley as a whole business. I don't want to put myself, in a pigeonhole. I don't want to just be known as one thing. There's
Right.
so many things I want to do. And I'm ready. You know what I really want to do? People who know me know this, and it might sound crazy. I want to be a criminal on SVU
Okay.
because it's
All
my
right.
favorite show in the world. And
I
I
do
think
like that show.
Yes, and I feel like everybody else is like, oh, they want to do that. I'm like, yeah, I just want to be on an episode as you.
Okay. All
So
right.
call me Ice T. Call me.
I could definitely see it happening. Now, you did mention, like, you had asked Winter some questions about herself to get to know her.
Hmm.
Let me throw out some rapid fire questions to you so
Yeah,
people
let's
can
do
get
it.
to know you. So, favorite show to binge watch?
SVU.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite food?
Seafood crabs.
If you were stuck on an island and you could only bring one item, like one, yeah, one item, what would it
But
be?
what, like one, like what kind of
Just one,
item?
like Survivor Series, you can only bring one thing.
A lighter.
A lighter. Okay, I like that. Favorite music album of all time?
Oh God, of all time. Oh, this is hard. Oh my God, that is a hard one. I have so many favorites. Oh, Destiny's Child writings on the wall.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. And then last question. Your house catches on fire. Everything is, going awry. You've saved your loved ones, your dog, all that good stuff. You have time to make one final dash for one thing in your house. What would it be? And you can come back safely. Let's clear that too.
Okay, I don't have a clearly. My shoes, all of them. But I have to be able to get all of them.
Okay. All right. Is it an extensive shoe collection, or how many shoes
Yes,
do you have?
I have a great shoe collection, and I'll have to get all my shoes.
So is it like I want now I'm curious as far as picturing. Is it like the closet and it has all the
Yeah, I
stuff,
have
or is it
like
in
shelves.
boxes?
Yeah, so no, I don't have them in boxes. They're all out on shelves. So it's like you come
Uh-huh.
into like a little, like how you walk in the store and it's like on the shelf.
Yeah.
I love walking in just looking at them. Like,
And are you more of a heel girl, flats,
oh
or
yes,
all of it?
I'm a heel girl, which is crazy because we've talked about the fun size on the show with Quick. Quick is taller than me, but only by that much.
Right.
I am in 4-inch heels all the time, like so I'm always towering over him. But I am a heel girl, like a heel girl all the time. But it's so crazy. The pandemic turned me into a sneaker girl. I've never had as many sneakers in my entire life. I think I have more sneakers now than I've had in the total of my entire life before 2020.
Yeah. Same here. I bought a lot of heels before 2020, and then 2020 where we're all home, and now I
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff from home, so like heels are not needed. And then
Yep.
I'm like looking at my heels and I'm like, I haven't worn these in almost three,
Yeah.
four
I
years. Like
remember the
it's
first time
crazy.
I went out with heels on and my legs, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you remember what to do, right?
Your legs get tired, like, what is this? What is happening? But it is what it is. But thank you so much. Again, just watching the show and watching the reunion, but actually getting to talk to you. Like everything, we are all, multi-dimensional, and there's so many things about us. And I think, you doing reality shows paint people to be in a certain light because you have to
Yeah.
create the story. But doing this is like, you're awesome. Not to think,
Yeah,
not to say I thought you was.
I've loved doing interviews since we've started, and I feel like what I've understood is that there are some viewers who are still going to be gung ho on feeling however they want to feel about me, and then there are people
Mhm.
who their perception might change, and then there are people who have liked me or loved me from the start. And then one thing about with me and Quick is we already kind of had a platform before. So I'll have so many people who like, well, girl, if they follow you before, if they listen to your podcast, whatever, they would know that's how you are, that's how you talk. And I
Mhm.
love that they feel like they are getting the authentic Ashley.
Yeah. And then congratulations on the podcast too. I mean,
Thank
in
you.
2020, a lot of people started podcasting like everybody and their mama, but you started before then. And
Yes,
to have
yes.
it consistently, I mean, that's the key element. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you, and congratulations with you for being with the Jasmine brand. Like I said, me and Jasmine actually, I had a blog before, and we
Hmm.
started like 6 months within each other. And I've
Oh,
always
wow.
been so proud of her and how much she's grown, and for her to have an entire team. So I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome just seeing, Black excellence. And it's
Yeah,
awesome, like I said, just going back to what I said before, seeing a unit, a married couple, like they're just doing it. Because
yeah,
so many times we see, so many other, horror stories, whether it's real or fake. It's just nice
yeah,
to see, like, no matter what happens, this is my man, period.
yeah.
So that's
Period.
awesome awesome to say.
So
Actually, one more question.
stay
You
over
did
there. Come for the Silvas.
it's a wrap.
Y'all already know what y'all gonna get.
Now, you did say, I think it was in the reunion. You said that because you got married at 21, and you said that you wouldn't, if you were to do it over again, you wouldn't get married so young. How old, like, if you were to pick an age, how
So
old do you think,
so to
like,
clarify that, we got engaged when I was 21.
okay,
And our first wedding date was supposed to be at 21, but we ended up pushing it. We didn't get married till I was 23. Still very, very young.
mm-hmm,
There's so much I've learned about myself since then. And if I had to pick an age, I don't know if there's necessarily an age. I just feel like it's more of experience. I didn't really get to experience a lot of life and do the career stuff that I wanted to do. I just feel like I
mm-hmm,
just wish I would have had a little bit more of self awareness of who adult Ashley was. I was very much still child Ashley at 21,
mm-hmm.
23 years old. And I felt like I had to grow up really fast and pretend that I was this mature person, being this mom and this wife and having this house and all of these things. But it's like I almost felt like, when you're a little girl playing like mommies
Playing
and
house.
daddies or playing
Mm-hmm.
house, right? That's how I felt. So I don't think that's necessarily an age. I just wish that I would have had a little bit more experience under my belt.
Okay. Well, you still have lawyer Ashley.
Yeah, now I've had all of this experience. It's been a long time now. We've been married, and so many people didn't think we were going to be married so long. Shit, there were times I was like, I get it. I know why they feel like we're not going to be married so long. But here we are. I mean, so it's been 15 years since we've been engaged, 14 years almost now since we've been married, 2 children, a dog. I feel like we are literally like this, like American dream, like poster
Yeah, and you're
in
making
our
it
in
in
our
through,
most
so.
in our most dysfunctional way. We
Well,
are.
that's the good thing about this particular show, because we saw the three different couples in different stages of their relationships and the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You guys did talk about it. We won't go into the rumors and all. And we'll leave that part of. But you guys did talk about the years that you put in, and
Yeah.
it's nice to see people not give up. And
Yeah.
I think that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes people get to a point where it's like, you know what, it's
Yeah,
easier
especially now
to
because
leave.
I don't feel like that there is this. I don't want to say an emphasis on marriage, but I just feel like people don't understand that the work that goes into a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
People really think it's like, I do let's live happily ever after and everything is going to be perfect. And I tell people all the time, and which is one of the reasons why the rumors just bothered me so much, because there are so many things that go into marriage that, like, finances.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jamie touched on it a little bit at the reunion, but with Quick and I, we finance very differently. I am a spender, Quick is a saver. These are things that can break up a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
down to how clean you keep your house. Like, there are so many things we don't talk about. It's just like, oh, you got divorced because you cheating. No, some people will get a divorce because people just are dirty and can't keep their
Mm-hmm.
house clean. That is a big thing for a lot of people. So
Right.
I just wanted more of that to be showcased on it. I know you didn't ask me this, but if you would have. Moving into season 2, if I could add another couple, I
Mm-hmm.
would want to have a couple who was newlyweds, because I feel like
Mm.
we have this idea of marriage, at the beginning, and we think we know everything, and we're like, I know this, and I know this, and I would never, and this
Right.
would never happen in my life or my marriage, and it's like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
ask the people who've been married 26 years if this will never. Ask people who've been married 13 years if this will never happen. So that's what I would love, on a season 2.
Okay. And have you gotten to speak to Carlos since the reunion? Like, do you send him
I've
a text message
I've
like, hey, this is
talked to
what I think?
him. I've talked to him where we have very high key talked about season 2. Nothing signed, nothing. So we don't know.
It's happening.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. And I hope everybody just comes back as their authentic selves, and we don't have people who turn to actors and actresses.
This is very true. But I love seeing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good
Bye.
one.
You too.